everyone, it's me Giovanni, and today I want to make this video right now because it's quiet in my house again. So I'm just gonna talk about some things, especially maybe even from the last video that I did. Okay, so the three things, Jiafei, which is interesting. The killer in When a Stranger Calls Back, which is basically the sequel to the 1979 original, When a Stranger Calls. And Coming Home, which is one of the Fazbear Frights books. So, here I go. So, I was on TikTok, scrolling through the For You page or following, and I noticed a video about the real life Jiafei, or the person that inspired Jiafei, the girl, from a real life picture, from a picture that people used as a certain character named Jiafei. Her real life name is on TikTok is DaiDai, and she actually has a TikTok now, well, in the actual version that most of us use. She was originally on Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok, but now she has an actual English TikTok account here. So, and she said that about her name, and that she would also be called Jiafei. She does have a real account, and she showed it in the video just to be safe, and that she's not AI, and that she is actually a real person. And I would have known that, especially since how she explained about her story of how she discovered people used her photo, and she, even though I thought that she was also AI, it's just that the name Jiafei is inspired by the two K-pop girls, and yeah. So, but her face, not based on the two singers. No, definitely not. She is a real person, and due to her face and her hairline, it was mostly because of beauty filters. And beauty filters are a common thing for women on TikTok, especially Asian women. So for her to use these beauty filters, I don't mind. And due to her TikTok account, what I've seen from her videos, she sort of embraces the character that people created of her. And you know what? If she's having fun with it, then who am I to tell her? And besides, people still get a kick out of the whole Jiafei thing, especially with Cupcake being friends with her in the fictional world of Flop Trafka, which is actually kind of funny and amusing. And since DaiDai is just embracing the character that people created of her, from her photo, then I'm okay with it. And besides, she seems to be happy with it, especially since it made her rich for some random reason. I'm guessing some people might have discovered her, and I'm guessing the internet discovered her as a real as the actual face of Jiafei, and just made her rich overnight, which honestly, good for her. I'm happy about it. Okay, number 2 is the killer in When a Stranger Calls Back, the sequel to the original 1979 When a Stranger Calls. So, the killer is identified as William Landis, And I actually now know what he looks like due to certain reviews about the movie and one of the trailers. So, what he looks like, most of the time he has his face like completely painted black, like entirely black faced. Mostly, like during the ventriloquist scene, he's he's supposed he's supposedly seen in the shadows. Um, and even though he's a ventriloquist, and due to unknown reasons of why he's targeting Julia and why he's doing it, I realized that maybe because he's a ventriloquist, and it's possible that he's barely struggling to make ends meet, and with people judging him and making fun of him due to his act and what he says, he wants to create illusions and make people crazy. Like he says that I'm not the illusionist, you are, and he like he like makes his face completely black and hides in the shadows. He like camouflages himself. He's manipulative. He also manipulates sound. He's really, really smart, but it's unaware why he like does what he does, like why he knows that Julia is the babysitter. Or maybe I thought that maybe he knew from the original that you know, Jill just had to encounter a serial killer while she was babysitting, and the children either disappeared or died. And since his name is William, I'm probably thinking right now that he and William Afton would be besties. I mean, their names are both William to be obvious, and they both hide in the shadows some of the times. And since they're smart, cunning, and manipulative, I guess it would be a no-brainer that they would instantly become best friends. I'm just thinking about it. Just a hunch. So anyways, the Fazbear Frights story coming home, I would say that it's semi-canon to the games. Maybe it's not really, because in the games, it's not stated that Susie has a sister, but at the same time, we don't know that in the games. She's just one of the 5 missing children. That's it. So, does it really matter? I'm going to include it because, duh. But also, there's some key points that would be incorrect about the story. Like, first off, the technology. Now, some people say it would take place in modern times, but Susie's family has a flat screen TV when the flat screen TVs were first invented in 1964, or the late 90s, like 1997, but mostly they were created back in 1964. So yeah. And Samantha, Susie's sister, watches shows on the computer, and it's mostly stated that it either happened in the late 80s or 90s or 2000s, but I'm just not sure. But I would say that Coming Home would be semi-canon, mostly due to the fact that it stated that Susie has a sister, and even though in the story Susie doesn't have a dog, who cares? Who the fuck cares? Okay, I'm just combining everything together. Okay, it's fine. And if it said that Samantha is supposed to be, like, Susie is supposed to be 7 when she goes missing, and Samantha is 6. And so, she's later an 8-year-old, which I'm guessing it takes place during 1986 or 1987. I'm not sure, but maybe. But yeah. Also, Not Real Name Not at All says that Coming Home is a great story, especially Impulse Evan, which I can agree with. Especially due to the symbolism in the story with Susie being possessed by Chica. So sad. And Susie might have been one of the children in FNAF 4, which I honestly would probably agree with. Mostly. But even due to the different stories of how Susie's appearance is portrayed, I would mostly go with her original appearance, her with blonde hair and blue eyes. I don't care. I think she looks cute. And besides, in one of the pictures involving the Coming Home story, maybe, she does in fact have blonde hair and blue eyes, but I don't know if it's supposed to be her or Samantha being carried by Chica, who's possessed by her sister, Susie. But who cares? Anyways, yeah. As you can see from the video, I have Richard again. Doesn't he look nice? Does he? I don't know. Please just someone see this video. Okay, I'm gonna talk about The Little Mermaid again, but short. I'm just gonna make this short. The movie's good despite its flaws. Halle Bailey is incredible. All the actors tried their best, and most of them did, but some of them could have really used some work, like acting with emotions, or like with Sebastian trying to be more not as snarky or rude, condescending. But the movie is still good. I go back on DeviantArt to see that one of the people that I talked to, I looked back on the post about their honest opinions about the movie, and it was okay. They just said that despite its flaws, it's not a bad movie, but they just prefer the original, which is fine. But when I look at the comments, they just seem to agree with everyone else who's commenting. It's almost like they're backstabbing themselves. Almost like hurting other people's feelings about how they, including myself, love the live-action Little Mermaid. And the main problem with them, mostly due to Halle Bailey and how Disney should have hired had a natural redhead or someone who was white to play Ariel, but Disney did a blind casting. They weren't looking for a specific person of color or anyone who was white or natural redhead. They just wanted someone who can sing and someone to capture Ariel's character, like her personality. And Halle just ate them all up without hesitation, and Disney just chose her right then and there. So, does it really matter? No.